We don't run it. Mom, get a computer up so we have to wait. I know. She got it up yet. We're good now. We said, well, let that know. We're gonna start the meeting though. Or something like that. Just
We have a bit of a technical problem, so we're going to wait a few minutes before we start.
I want to call from. No, you don't have any. Dr. Weston. Call from. Call from. I like this cat. It's a picture cat.
We'll just follow the agenda.
Follow the agenda. All right.
Madam Chair, I move that we reconvene in open session and adopt certification of closed session.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we reconvene in open session and adopt certification of closed session. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
No students, I guess we have to.
No.
Don't we have to wait till she's certified?
Certification of closed session. Whereas the Dinwiddie County School Board has convened a closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas paragraph 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Dinwiddie County School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only such business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board. Jerry Sneff, Jr., District 1.
I certify.
Betty Haney, District 2.
I certify.
Barbara Pittman, District 3.
I certify.
Mary Benjamin, District 4.
I certify.
Shirley Merritt, District 5.
I certify.
Madam Chair, all certify.
Thank you. If y'all would please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay.
Amendments.
Amendments.
I move that we accept the agenda as proposed, adopted as proposed.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The closed session report. Personnel.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the personnel list as presented by the administration. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Dr. Weston?
It gives me great pleasure. I'd like to introduce one of the individuals on our personnel report this evening. I'd like Mrs. Tori Walker to please stand so I can tell you a little bit about her and why we're so happy to have her here in Dinwiddie County Public Schools. Many of you might recognize her. She is a 1992 graduate of Dinwiddie High School. So we always welcome folks back home, but I'll tell you a little bit about the work she's done since she left here. She has a Bachelor's of Science degree in Liberal Arts and Education. She has a Master of Education, and she also is currently working on her doctorate in education. She has certifications as a reading specialist, as an elementary school teacher, as an early primary school teacher, and as an administration and supervision. She started her teaching in Petersburg. We'll try not to hold that against you. They are neighbors. We do play nicely with them. They're wonderful neighbors. And then she went to Maryland for a while, and she was a high school principal in Maryland. So we're so happy to have her come back and serve in this capacity. Right now, she's serving in Richmond Public Schools as a school improvement. She works in the school improvement coordinator there. And she lives here in Sutherland, so we're neighbors. I live in Sutherland as well. So we're so happy to have her come back. And I understand that she's very active in her church, and she attends Rocky Branch Baptist Church here in the community. So we're so very happy to have you here, and welcome back home. And she has a lot of family, I think, with her. So would you like to introduce who you brought with you this evening?
Yes. This is my husband, Kevin Walker.
Okay.
He is also a Dinwiddie graduate.
Oh, welcome back.
My mom, Edna Brown, and she is a Southside High School graduate.
Oh, my God.
My father, Charlie Brown Jr., and he is a graduate of Southside.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
And then my grandfather, Reverend Dr. Herbert Anderson.
Wonderful. Welcome, all of you. Because we know we don't just hire we take the whole family with us. So welcome back home to all of you. We're so happy to have you welcome back on our team again. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Congratulations. Okay. Approval of student matters.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation of the administration on student number LT-11-22-1 and long-term suspend to second semester because they pose a threat to the safety and welfare of the students and staff.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the recommendation of the administration to long-term suspend student number LT-11/22-1 till the end of the semester and return second semester because they pose a threat. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation of the administration and long-term suspend student number LT-11/22-2 for the rest of the first semester because they pose a threat to the safety and welfare of the students and staff, and they may return second semester.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the recommendation of the administration to long-term suspend student LT-11/22-2 and for the rest of the first semester and return for the second semester. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the recommendation to expel student number E-11/22-1 because they pose a threat to the health and safety and welfare of the students and staff.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the recommendation of the administration and expel for the remainder of the school year student number E-11-22/1 because they pose a threat to the school. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I move that we modify the recommendation for student number E-11/22-2 to long-term suspension for the rest of the first semester. They may return second semester. because they pose a threat to the safety and welfare of the students and staff.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we modify the recommendation of the administration for student E-11/22-2 and long-term suspend for the remainder of the school year.
Remainder of
The
the first
remainder of the
semester.
semester. Then they may return at second semester because they pose a threat to the students. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Expenditure report, consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the expenditure reports as presented.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the expenditure reports as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of the October 11th, 2022 meeting and October 25th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the October 11, 2022 and the October 25th, 2022 meetings. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, board matters.
I think Mr. Tortorese who's doing the field trips?
I think Mr. Bird's doing middle school.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yes, we have a lot of
Okay,
middle
we
school
have,
too.
there's a whole list of them here. I didn't have my glasses on. So it looks like we have an art class. The first one's the art class field trip for the high school.
For the high, oh,
This is for the high school.
It says DHS.
Yeah, it's misprinted, that's
Oh, for the middle school. So we
Oh,
have,
okay.
it looks like we have DMS art class field trip, Busch Gardens Physics Day, and Chapel Hill,
Chapel
North Carolina. Okay, would somebody like to speak on behalf of the poor art class is trying to go on a field trip? Do we have that information in front of us? You have it. Hold it, we might have a copy of it up here. Okay. Do you have a
just
copy of
looking,
the
I'm
book?
looking to see if I
Yeah,
have
she
it.
thinks it's in there.
Did it say middle or high school?
No, those are the minutes.
I got a copy pulled up on my computer, you can use it.
Art class, here we
That's
go.
what we're
Can I
looking
borrow that?
Yes, you may.
That way we can get through this.
Yeah. That's this one, and hold on a minute, here's the other part of it.
Perfect, thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It appears that the art class at DMS is going on a field trip that's titled Art as a Career. They discuss many art careers in the middle school setting. The field trip is to be considered because it's an opportunity for many of our students to benefit greatly from visiting Longwood University, which is outside the 50-mile, it's 56 miles away. We do ask that the board accept this trip, approve this trip, because of the experience it'll give our students in the art career path. Ms. Schmitz is taking them on this field trip, and it
How
is to
many
Longwood.
students? Does it say?
It does. It is going to be 15 students and 1 adult. I might suggest that maybe we get a chaperone to get a little closer to the 1-to-5 ratio. I'll get with Mr. Bird.
Okay.
Maybe we get two extra chaperones to go.
Do you have a date on there?
Yes, ma'am. It is the November 18th. They are leaving at 8 a.m. and they'll return by 12:30 p.m. So
Oh,
And they're going to Farmville?
they're going to Farmville. Yeah. So they'll get there about 9. My guess is it's a 2-hour program. Come back.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the art class field trip.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the DMS art class field trip. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board. Dr. Weston. Thank you, Mr. Walters. Our physics day field trip on Friday, May the 12th, 2023, Busch Gardens Physics Day SOL-related curriculum for grade 8 with a background in physics. It covers physics SOL PH .1, 4 through 10. Students will participate in a program with Dr. David Wright, professor of physics, for the program Launch into Physics. So Dinwiddie School Bus Plan will be used for the travel of 71.4 miles. Students will depart 7:45 a.m. from Dinwiddie Middle School and return at 5 p.m. Approximately 14 students, identified gifted students, and 5 chaperones will be attending. The cost is to be determined. The students are responsible for individual purchases of food, and approval from the board will be greatly appreciated at this time.
Any questions?
It sounds like a trip that would be very educational for those students who want to, who are studying physics. And to study with, this would be a professor from somewhere else?
So Dr. David Wright, professor of physics for the program Launch into Physics.
Yeah,
So,
that's very,
So is this a choice for the gifted? There's not very many kids going, that's why I asked it. So just people, people are choosing to go and others are not choosing?
Ms. Massengill, is 15 students identified gifted and 5 chaperones. So that's basically what I have, the information that I have for this.
15, so that's just 8th graders, I guess?
Yes, this is 8th grade.
Just 8th grade.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I move that we we approve the trip to Busch Gardens Physics Day.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Busch Gardens Physics Day field trip. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center on Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Moorhead Planetarium and Science Center provides SOL-related curriculum for grades 6 and 7, life sciences, animal habitats, climate and space relations. Platinum Tour Centers, charters will be 1 bus will be used for the travel of 127.7 miles to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Students will depart 7 a.m. from Dinwiddie Middle School and return at 4:30. Approximately 25 students, identified 6 and 7 gifted students, and 15 chaperones will be attending. The cost is to be announced. Fundraiser to offset the price. The students are responsible for individual purchases of food. So it's 50 students and 15 adults, and approval from the school board will be greatly appreciated.
Okay. Any questions?
No, I worry about the timing on some of these. Leaving at 7 and getting back at 4:30 and it's 143 miles, that's a stretch.
127.7 miles.
I know, it just seems like a quick turnaround for
Not
that.
spending much time there.
Not spending much time. I thought
Yeah.
the same thing about the
Yeah.
Bush, with the, the Farmville.
Farmville.
Yeah.
Coming back by noon, I don't know.
Returning at 4:30.
Yeah, I don't know, anyway. So we're using our school buses?
This one will be charter.
Charter
bus.
bus.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Platinum Tours.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the trip.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Chapel Hill, North Carolina field trip. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Now, Mr. Torres.
I'm new.
Yes, that's okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to present the FFA field trips. The first one I have is the Isle of Wight Land Lab. Destination, they're going to the Isle of Wight. They're going to visit it's for the Southeast Area Tractor Operations Competition. It's on November 9th, 2022. 1 student, 10th grader. They will take a county car. Mr. Davis will drive.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve this trip to Isle of Wight with FFA.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Southeast Area Tractor Operations Competition trip. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
All right, the second one I have is the FFA Public Speaking Workshop. Virginia FFA will be offering a 3-hour workshop on November 18th, 2022 to give FFA members the opportunity to learn the basics in public speaking. This is for members who are interested in competing in the public speaking competition. It'll be offered at Caroline High School, 81 miles away. They're going to use the activity bus or county cars, depending on the amount of students that sign up. Right now, the activity bus is out of use, so it would be county cars.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the FFA public speaking workshop.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Virginia FFA Public Speaking Workshop. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Now Mr. Walters is going to come to speak to you about,
I think they requested maybe for the IT.
They approved it as
Okay. Sorry.
oh,
They wanted to maybe switch the order, but. it's-
okay. Okay.
Good evening again. I'm here to speak to you. We got an email from the VDOE a couple weeks ago that talked about the requirement that they're having per the General Assembly for student athletes to understand the impact of sudden cardiac arrest. I didn't realize this, and I thought it was educational. Sudden cardiac arrest is the number one cause of death for student athletes in the United States. It's a relatively small number, but it is the number one cause of death. So we were charged with coming up with a board policy that addresses this. There's a bunch of components to this policy, one of which is making sure that coaches understand the impact of sudden cardiac arrest, making sure they understand the warning signs, the symptoms, and what to do if this does happen. We have to figure out how to train them. I did contact Dr. Hahn at the Virginia High School League, and him and I discussed it a little bit, and we talked about the fact that the National Federation of High School Sports does have a program. It is a video training that we can have coaches take, and I actually went on and took the training. It takes about an hour. It's a very straightforward, easy training, but it's very informative. So that's how we're going to educate coaches on how. That's part of the requirement is making sure coaches understand this. The second part is making sure that parents and the student athletes understand the warning signs, what to do, and what is the procedure when they do have these symptoms and signs. How do you prevent them from going into sudden cardiac arrest? And so I'm here before you today. I know that it's a little quicker than normal, but I'm here before you today to ask for you to approve the policy that I provided to you concerning the sudden cardiac arrest requirements for the student athletes that participate in VHSL extracurricular activities. I did provide for you the draft copy of the policy, the parent information and signature sheet, which will go into the student packet to be eligible, right, with the concussion and the VHSL physical. I know there was a question about pre-screening, and one of those things that the VHSL has done is added that to the physical form where parents answer questions. If your son or daughter exhibits any of these, we need you to be seen by a cardiologist. So, but anyway, I'm here to ask for board approval or answer any questions that you may have about this policy.
No, I did have a question, but you answered it before.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I hope that I was able to answer
did.
that fully. Yeah.
I'm glad that this program makes parents aware.
Yep.
That's what that was my thing about it, because it's very sad when we hear this. And no more questions, Madam
And I'm
Chair?
sure the parents didn't know a lot of the,
No,
that,
one of the things is most kids think, oh, I'm out of shape, I'm out of season, I'm just not in good shape, and then so they think they're just really tired,
right.
and they are exhibiting some of the symptoms. And I know if it was my son or daughter, better safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
So I think most parents probably agree with that.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the report order. Is it a program?
It'll be a policy change.
This policy change, sudden cardiac arrest prevention in student athletes.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the policy change for sudden cardiac arrest prevention in student athletes forms. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, now we'd like Mrs. Branch to come forward. We're going to talk about alternate routes to licensure in the iTeach program.
4:51. So I'll say good afternoon at this point. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to talk to you about our alternative routes to licensure. I do have Dr. Gaffney here on behalf of the I Teach program, and she'll be coming up later in the presentation to explain the details regarding that process. But if you recall, I guess a couple of months ago, I stood before you to give you a preview of what the conditions were here with staffing at Dinwiddie County Public Schools and the great need that we have concerning teacher licensure. So the purpose of today's presentation is just to give you an update on what I find as a solution to the teacher shortage that will help aid or assist in the teacher shortage on the alternative routes to licensure programs available, and also recommend some options for our employees who have less than a bachelor's degree to be able to follow a path that leads to full licensure. So in our comprehensive plan and under exemplary staff, that's priority 3, we say that we are going to retain and recruit high-performing employees who put students first, practice inclusivity, and inherently add value to the organization. We have always expressed our commitment to being able to practice our comprehensive plan as well as the goals that we've included in it. So as far as goal 2 in particular, it is devoted towards developing a highly effective and responsible workforce. And that is in particular regarding creating an internal pipeline for professional and support staff positions and to identify potential successors for future growth. Some of the challenges that we've previously discussed in education are the decrease in individuals that are entering the teaching profession, as well as a lack of qualified, fully licensed candidates, compensation, and additional barriers to entry such as testing requirements and housing options. As it stands right now, out of the nearly 10 or so critical shortage teaching positions that we have in Virginia, we have vacancies in over 5 of those areas. So I wanted to stress that point just to help you all understand that the alternative routes that I'll be recommending to you today are programs that would help us to be able to fill the current vacancies that we have. So far in progress, we've been reviewing our recruiting and hiring practices and also creating opportunities for employees and those in the community as well to obtain teacher licensure. This has been done in part through our partnerships with local schools and universities to be able to provide those alternative licensure programs. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is options that we can consider for employees that have less than a bachelor's degree. Recently, I've had conversations with Grand Canyon University as well as University of Phoenix. I realize there are many approved schools and colleges in the state of Virginia, and I wanted to highlight at least my recent conversations with these 2 universities first because as a part of us entering into a partnership agreement with them, we can be able to obtain a discount and us being able to form a cohort of students or employees that would like to further their education. So through Grand Canyon, they are offering a cohort discount that would be between $8,000 to $13,650 discount off of the tuition rate for our employees. And if you include the offerings available through the federal Teach Grant and also Pell Grants, if they're eligible, that could make their tuition cost free of charge. Also through the University of Phoenix, they have a program where every 5th course a student takes would essentially be free. So that would also give them a significant discount on their tuition program as well. Now, a few weeks ago, I did send a survey out to employees here at Dinwiddie County Public Schools just to ask them questions about do you desire to become a teacher? You know, what are the barriers you have? Is funding a barrier to you? And out of that survey, we had about 23 individuals that responded by saying that they would be interested in becoming a teacher, but one of their primary barriers is the funding. So I believe that through us, and out of those people, I believe it was only 17% that possessed a bachelor's degree already. So, of course, you know, we can certainly do our due diligence in helping those people to get to licensure through the programs we'll speak about today. But we also have a significant portion, close to 80% of people that are primarily in this school system. Some people I could tell are not employed here, but, you know, they may have got the survey forwarded to them through an employee, but they're also interested in becoming a teacher here. So that shows us that there is definitely a desire within the community, and I want us to be able to tap into that and provide them the resources that they need. In addition to Grand Canyon and University of Phoenix, we also have Educate Virginia. That's continued to be a program that we've talked about before in the past. And this is the alternative licensure program that's primarily for middle school and high school content teaching areas. Their program is about $4,000 to complete, and you would be required to have a bachelor's degree as well as meet certain GPA requirements. I have been having conversations with Mr. Moss, who's over our Innovation and Development Department, as well as Dr. Clay, our Chief Academic Officer, to see in what ways, through the grants that we receive, can we make some funds available to be able to assist employees in this endeavor. We already help those that are provisionally licensed through tuition reimbursement, and we'd like to be able to move forward in offering some sort of assistance to employees in obtaining their degree, but it would also require their commitment to us. So, you know, for example, for every year that they receive assistance from us, they would be required to teach here within the county to be able to pay that back to us. So moving forward towards programs that can help individuals that already possess a bachelor's degree. I can't reach it. Oh, okay. I thought it was something wrong with the, so is it on?
What?
It's already out. Okay. Here I am. I thought it was still technical difficulties. I apologize. All right, so now you can see my beautiful slide with all my pictures on it. Okay, so we just got done talking about Grand Canyon, University of Phoenix, and Educate Virginia. But now I'll move forward towards the programs that require an individual to have a bachelor's degree. So aside, Educate Virginia requires a bachelor's degree, but also in addition to that, we also have the RTR program, which is the Richmond Teacher Residency Program. So we've have expressed our interest for several years to this program to let them know that we were interested in it as a rural school division. They've had this program in action for several years in our more urban school environments, Petersburg, Chesterfield, Henrico, some of these other areas. But I'm happy to say that we recently received a $50,000 grant through this program to be able to select 2 residents to enter this program. We would like to have one teacher resident in elementary education and then 1 teacher resident in special education. This program gives the employee a stipend. It pays for their tuition. It also gives the mentor teacher a stipend and also provides them ongoing professional mentoring support into their second year. So we will be getting ready to have our partnership meetings with them next week, actually, and the selection process will begin. And of course, we'll be funneling that information through our school system so that people are aware of the program, and our existing employees that qualify can absolutely apply to be considered for the program.
The people who are already our employees that would need this would be people who are not certified as a teacher yet?
Correct. They cannot already have a provisional license. They do need to possess a bachelor's degree, yes, among a couple of other things, and they have to go through an interview process through the RTR program. And I'll also add to, if for some unforeseen reason we're not able to identify 2 residents to go through this program, we do have the clearance to be able to use those funds towards helping people complete provisional licensure requirements. In addition to the Richmond Teacher Residency Program, Virginia State University has also instituted a I2 Teach program. This is the flyer that they released in regards to a conference call they had at the end of October. This was sent out to our employees, and their focus is to target individuals who already have completed a bachelor's degree and would like to go through an accelerated 1-year program to obtain their master's degree in elementary education or special education. Again, this is something that had been in the works for a while. We actually wrote our letter of support and filled out additional information that was requested by Virginia State. And fortunately, this was a grant that Virginia State obtained through the Virginia Department of Education. If you remember the press release that Virginia State released about them assisting schools in Richmond and Petersburg, this is similar to the same program that's being offered to those schools that will be offered to our employees in Dinwiddie County if they choose to take advantage of it. And then lastly, we have the iTeach program, which is a very new alternative program. There's been some recent developments with the Virginia Board of Education in regards to it. And I'm so happy that Dr. Gaffney decided to join us today so that she can give you some details about that program, because this is primarily one of the areas that will require your approval for us to move forward with. Dr. Gaffney?
Thank you all. Good evening.
Good evening.
It is now evening officially. So iTeach is actually not new. It's 30 years old, but it's new to Virginia. And so let's see how your clicker works here. Oh my gosh.
Would you like me to be Vanna for you?
I got it. All right, here we go. So what is iTeach? iTeach, it's an alternative licensure program, pathway for degreed candidates. Again, that same bachelor she's talking about. In Virginia, you have to have a 2.5 on your bachelor transcript from an accredited university to qualify. So the vision of iTeach is to remove the barriers for qualified individuals so they can enter the teaching profession. The desired result is for candidates to participate in a rigorous, self-paced online program that is CAPE accredited. CAPE accreditation is the same accreditation that University of Virginia, JMU, Virginia Tech, any of our universities have. iTeach is the only non-university online program that has CAPE accreditation, and that's a really big deal to have that. It's also a cost-effective pathway into the profession. So Diane Huber, 30 years ago, a professor at University of North Texas, had so many students come to her that decided they wanted to be a teacher in their 4th year, but recognized, or senior year, you can tell them from UVA, recognized that, gee, I want to be a teacher. What do I need to do? And they're like, well, you need to go back to school for 2 years and, add $30,000 debt. So she decided to come up with this program. In her first year, she certified 330 teachers. So they don't finish iTeach with a degree, but they finish with a certification. Again, it is online, self-paced, and so the courses are created for people to do while they are working. So because of House Bill 2486, iTeach is now possible in Virginia, and this bill allows alternative licensure. The part where you come into play is superintendent memo states that the alternative route needs to be specific to the district. So I have worked with Mrs. Branch here on completing the application. It's quite detailed, as you all saw the stack, but we worked together and she added in the specific needs for your district. So it is ready to go to the VDOE. Just to update you, the VDOE right now has 6 applications completed. They have Fairfax, Chesapeake, Charles City, Essex, Greensville, and Sussex. And so you guys, last night, Prince George, I spoke there and they got approval, and so theirs will be going in. So you'll be in the top 10 with moving forward with this because you have someone who's on the go here and looking into everything. So the I Teach value, how much does it cost? Well, it costs you $0. That's right, $0. Everybody's interested now. So the cost to enroll is $250 for the candidate. Diane Huber really felt like they needed to have skin in the game so that they would participate and really complete the program. The total cost of the program is $3,050. When you subtract the $250, it's around $2,800. They set up a payment plan, so while the candidate is teaching, they pay monthly for 10 months, either $280 or spread it out over 12. They're very good about working with that. The goal is that these teachers would finish their first year and have no debt. Boy, that's a really good concept. Those of us in the room that have debt are like, what? I get it. So why I teach? It's CAPE accredited. It's 100% online, self-paced. It's a more affordable option than college and university tuition, and it can be completed in 1 year. And they have over 20 years of success. I think that's it. Any questions?
So just to reiterate, what I would need approval from you on today is for us to move forward in the application process for iTeach. That would require you, Mrs. Haney, to sign off on the application, and then it would go to the Department of Education, right, for them to know that Dinwiddie County Public Schools is interested in offering this program to provisionally licensed employees. Do you have any questions?
So it's designed to be done in a year. Is it?
That's correct.
What happens if they don't complete? Is there an alternative? Can it be longer?
So I have been told, I'm new to this, I was a principal this time last year. So what I have learned is that they get the support they need to get through the program.
Okay.
So that is the desire.
And I was just thinking about sometimes life gets in the way, babies or sickness or something.
Well, I guess the program work as the other programs, that I did an online master's program, and everything was online. And when I wanted to talk to my instructor, it was online. But I did go to the campus once a week, which was good for me. So it sounds really interesting to me. It's something that I'm thinking people would be interested in. I think it'd be good for us.
Do they get an advisor of sorts?
There is an instructor for the course, yes, for each of the courses. So
Okay.
there's not an advisor, but they get the.
Everybody's doing the same course at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess
At their own.
maybe to clarify, are you able to speak towards what the application process is like for the employee? Like if they say, I want to go through iTeach.
Yeah, it's a very quick process. Probably takes about 15 minutes to fill out. They have to have an official transcript sent, and then they answer some interview questions that clarify, do you like children? So things like that you need to say yes to if you want to be a teacher. So they're pretty obvious. But yeah, it's very, very simple. And then to get in, and really it's what I'm working with the districts is we're seeing two really markets for this. There are people who are on provisional right now who maybe aren't as far along on their provisionals, and this is a more affordable, quicker option. They can get certified in a year, and superintendents, HR people just love that because then they're ready to go. And then the second part is the people you've already identified, who want to become a teacher but have had barriers in their way and haven't been able to do it.
Start and stop times, is it traditional?
Well, that's a great
September.
question. It really just depends. As I came on new this summer, I saw the other states that already are approved and going. I mean, people were just so involved this summer, and it looked like they were really trying to get as much of their coursework completed as they could, which is a great idea. You know, it's going to really set them up, and then get their praxis passed. The other thing that this program comes with no additional charge is it has a praxis test prep. And so the praxis exam is very difficult, and it's set up in the same modules like the iTeach courses are. And people will take a diagnostic test. It'll give feedback on what you need to work on, and then you get some support with that. But again, it's all online. So that also really helps.
Do you have an idea on how soon we would be able to implement this program if it were to be approved?
Yeah, so that is the great question. You all are working with the DOE, and it seems like they have things are going very slow there. They've had a lot of other distractions that we see on the news. So I can't give you an exact time. What I do know is the 6 applications, I believe, that are there are hoping to be approved by the next board meeting on the 17th of November. And so we'll wait and see. The VDOE did have a discussion last month. It was an agenda item 0 or O that had information about how they're going to handle all these alternatives, because they're going to have to do it. We know there's a teacher shortage, and so they're trying to figure out how to manage all of this. So they did make that announcement. Fairfax had been told, hey, it's already been approved. We just have to get the guidelines. So we believe and hope it's going to be presented. The ones that are already there will be presented, and the board will approve them. So I would think you'd probably be in that second round, or if we get it in, who knows? Maybe you guys would, Maggie will see it and go, let's just put all these together. The applications are the same except for about 8 sentences, honestly. Maybe a few more. Did that
Anyone
answer
else?
all your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have to have a approval.
Mrs. Smith?
I move that we approve the process of joining with the iTeach Virginia program.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve going into the iTeach program as an alternative. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Right.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And now this is a misprint, that Ms. Fleming's coming to talk to us about the fiscal year 23 budget.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're already working on the next year one.
Yes, ma'am.
So fiscal year 2023 amended budget.
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Back in April, the school board adopted the school division budget. And at that time, we did not have a state budget that had been approved. So the General Assembly adopted a state budget on June the 6th. And at that time, there were changes that were made, and not major changes, but there are changes that were made that did affect us. But at the time of that adoption, we also did not have a CIP budget approved by the county. They didn't adopt it in their budget in May, and we didn't have one. So we were kind of waiting, to get the budget amended when we could do it one time. And so they met last month and actually adopted a capital improvement plan, which Mr. Walters kind of highlighted last month at our meeting. So at this point in time, we need to make some changes to our budget. So I wanted to just kind of highlight what has changed. We did revenue updates to state funding based on the General Assembly adoption of the state budget, okay? Which basically included an increase to basic aid, a decrease to the at-risk per pupil amount, addition of supplemental payment in lieu of food and hygiene tax, which was some changes that the General Assembly made versus the governor's budget, a decrease of rebenching hold harmless, and then the ever popular $1,000 bonus that was paid from ESSER. Also, there was the addition of the school construction grant program, which was adopted by the General Assembly. That's $2.1 million for Dinwiddie. And inclusion of the county CIP for schools, which for us includes the Pamplin building, security upgrades, the Dinwiddie Elementary School soffit repair, and buses. It also included a payment to two of our booster clubs for the facility at the high school for spring sports and some work on the baseball field, which Mr. Walters highlighted last month as well. In the grants fund, we increased Title I and preschool handicap grants to include carryover funds because by the time we were doing this, we knew what we were a little bit better about what we were looking at. As far as the expenditure side goes, we updated salaries and positions based on changes that were made since the adopted budget in April. And as you know, there were many, many changes. We kind of had, the merry-go-round of position changes there. So we updated everything based on what actually was happening. We added a teacher, a parent, or early learning specialist for the Virginia Preschool Initiative grant. We allocated 25% of reading specialists to PALS funding. There was a change in the non-professional VRS and retiree health care credit rates. We reduced the risk insurance based on our renewal. Water testing, we had gotten notice after our after our budget adoption that was going to increase 7%. And we increased the fuel line $100,000 because, as you know, fuel is kind of an uncertainty. We're not positive where that's going. And then we added the state portion of the expense of the $1,000 bonus to employees to our budget as well. And just as a side note to that, the other portion of that is going to be paid through the CARES grant, which we had already included in our CARES spending plan. So what you have here is just a chart, basically, that shows the differences, the changes in the revenue budget. We increased our Fund 205 school operating fund by $550,000, of which the majority of that is the state portion of the bonus. There were no changes to textbooks, school nutrition, or CARES. We increased capital projects, and that includes the $2.1 million for the school construction and the county funding of their portion of the capital improvement plan for schools. No changes in revenue to debt service, but it's an overall increase of $4 million to our revenue budget. The expenditure budget, we have the same corresponding increase in expenditures to school operating. Again, most of that is the increase to for the $1,000 bonus and the changes that I just mentioned. The capital projects, same thing. The $2.1 million is in there, even though we have not decided at this time how that's being spent. We can carry that forward from year to year, but it is in our budget if we, can start spending some of that or make some decisions about that soon, between now and the end of the year. Additionally, Mr. Tucker can go ahead, as soon as this gets adopted, we can go ahead and order the buses that are in the capital improvement project. And we're already working on the other things that were mentioned, Dinwiddie Elementary soffit repair and the Pamplin building. The grants, that's the same corresponding expenditures for the preschool handicapped and some Title I. Debt service is increasing by $150, and that's simply because we got an increase in fees that are required by U.S. Bank. So we have to pay those. So a total of $3.8 million in increases for expenditures there. So what I need from you tonight is approval of the amended budget, and we have to take this to the Board of Supervisors for their approval as well. You also have before you a summary. It's a revenue summary, line by line, and an expenditure summary to see the areas where they were increased. If you want to go through those, and I do have those. If there's anyone here that would like a copy of that. We are not republishing the budget, but what we will do is provide this, and also once it is approved, we will initiate that in our financial system, and all the new amounts will come out in there when you run reports. So At this time, I'll take any questions that anyone may have. I know that was kind of fast, and we just kind of highlighted the changes, but there weren't, there wasn't a lot of change between what the General Assembly did and the governor's budget. So thankfully, we didn't have to recreate.
Were we hit hard by the hold harmless changes?
No, we got extra money for
We
that.
got extra, okay. And I have one other question. What,
90, let's see, hold harmless. Yeah, we lost 96,000 in one area in the hold harmless there in the re-benchmarking, I'm sorry. But we gained money in lieu of that with the, in lieu of, what was it called? The sales tax and the hygiene tax. They made some swap outs is what they did. So we ended up gaining money there because we got 300,000 for that, but we lost 96 in the whole harmless for re-benchmarking.
what's the school system's, on the first page there, it says foster care. What is our?
We receive money for foster care to assist in providing services and education for those students that are in foster care. I mean, it's based on, a report that goes in through social services. I'm not sure if we would have to do an actual report, but I know they get it from social services. They know how many children are in our county that are in foster care.
That are enrolled in school.
That are enrolled in our school, yes. Because, they may be coming from other localities and there's no corresponding revenue source for that.
I just wondered.
It fluctuates every year by the amount of students that we have.
Right.
I will tell you that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the 2023 amended budget.
Second.
Okay, it's been it's been moved and seconded that we approve the 2023 amended budget. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did you want to speak to the enrollment?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if we would do new business. If we
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we have new business?
No.
No new business?
Okay, enrollment, yes.
Okay. Good news. We are above where our budget was for what we budgeted for 2023, our student count.
Awesome.
We budgeted based on 4,100 students. And as of the end of October, we actually had 4,160 actual students sitting here. Now, we had to turn in our fall record collection, our student fall record collection, as of October the 1st, and they have our ADM right now sitting at 4,129, which is 29 students above where we built our budget, which is great news. And hopefully, this 4,160 will stay here and continue to grow, which means our ADM will be higher in March when we do our spring record collection, which means that we will receive more money from the state, and we will be monitoring this every single month. So we have a plan. We know what we may want to do with it, and just make sure that it doesn't drop, and we're in good standing. But we feel really good about this. Obviously, in years past, we've had to make budget cuts, because our ADM hasn't been where we built our budget. And of course, during the whole pandemic, they've kind of held us harmless with that. But this is good news. So it means that our students are coming back, and we should feel good about that. So, anybody have any questions about where we are with that?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Rowanti update.
We have not had a meeting since we last met, so.
Yeah. Okay, Code RVA update.
Yes,
August.
yes, Madam Chair. We met on Thursday, October the 20th. The director at that time stated that they were getting off to a good start, that they now have dual enrollment for 3 sections, and that it's very important for the students to decide what pathway they're going to take in the 9th grade so they can get the full benefit of it. She stated also that Capital One is also continues to be a good support of the school, as well as I believe the Herndon Foundation. And at that time, they'd won 2 awards, 1 student award and 1 teacher award from the Google administration. And Google has been a great help with the internet there, and they're expecting one of the top administrators of Google to visit the school real soon. I think the date was moved from November 8th to the following week. So, and we will not be able to attend. I believe we'll be in Williamsburg at that time. She stated that they had a real banging. She stated that the dates for this school year won't be as many. Our next meeting will be January. And also the meeting, there's not going to be that many meetings, but when we go, we're going to get business taken care of, because she noticed that we all can't travel the distance to come, and we need so many face-to-face people there in order to take care of the business. So we had a great meeting. We had more people than we needed for face-to-face quorum, and so I enjoyed the visit. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Do we have any citizens' comments? No? Okay. Board member comments?
Madam Chair, I would like to say that I have served on the Southside Regional VSBA board for the past 2 years. It will be pretty soon, in a couple of weeks. So on November 3rd, we held our election for the next officers who's going to take place. And Ms. Barbara Pittman was the head of the nominating committee, along with 2 other ladies from the region. And they did a real excellent job. She said, "Oh, well, wasn't that much to do." But I guess, I don't know, Ms. Pittman, whether it was virtual or you did a good job.
It was virtual.
But we had it was very good meeting, and it was conducted in such a way that respect was given to one another. So it was real good, and I want to just say to you, Ms. Pittman, thank you.
You're
because
welcome.
you had supported me the entire 2 years. If I needed a secretary, she was that. Needed a nominating chair, she was that. Whatever I needed, she said, "I got it." So I've had a good 2 years, and I thank the Dinwiddie School Board for being backing me up everywhere we needed to go. I needed participation. Dinwiddie was there. So I thank you, board, and thank the family who has left for our new addition to our staff, and we're looking for great things. So that's it, Madam Chair.
I read the fine print when they handed out those procedures, and it said if you were on the nominating committee that you couldn't be nominated.
That's right.
So I raised my hand quick.
That's pretty smart.
So anyway, and that rotates, and no 2 people off one board are allowed to serve at one time, which is a good idea. And the idea is to get everybody in the region involved. But no, it was virtual and didn't take much time. But I enjoyed doing it, and I learned a few things. So thank you, and thank you to those people who are in support of our activities. So we have a lot of things that come to the board, and it takes a lot of time and teacher time away from their families to go on these trips and support our students. And those pieces of education really mean a lot to our students when they get outside the classroom. So I'm certainly glad we can do those.
Just want to congratulate all of our new hires, and wish best luck to those our students that are coming up in the competitions, and our football team in the playoffs. Hopefully we'll go all the way. And I want to wish everyone we won't have a meeting before, so I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving holiday. Stay safe, enjoy the time off, and spend with your families, and can't wait to see y'all back.
And I also would like to congratulate Ms. Tori Walker, and we're very pleased that she's going to be able to join our family. But also the football team, it's moved to Thursday night, right?
Yes, 7
So
o'clock.
make sure everybody knows that it's Thursday night, not Friday night this time. And hopefully they'll do extremely well. And I think that's it for me.
Yeah, so I would also like to congratulate Coach Mills, his team, and the football players and all the coaches. It's been a wonderful season, but so congratulate them on being the district champs and look forward to the regional starting this week. And so bring your cowbell and join us on Thursday evening. And Mr. Moss always in for a treat with Mr. Moss after that press box. I'd also like to say that the board members, we had an opportunity this past Sunday to participate in what was called a family worship, where, you know, Sunday tends to be the most segregated day of the week, right? So this, our pastors in this community, they had a one family worship. So everybody came out at 3:00 at Western Heights Baptist Church, and Pastor Dundalo brought a lesson, and Pastor Northam brought a lesson, and Ms. Merritt was singing and part of it singing, and it was really it was a blessing. It was a great event. Some of our students were there, and our families were there, and it was a great event on Sunday. And I hope it turns into an annual event. I think it's nice for us all to come together. Today was a wonderful professional development day, and so it was a real treat to start my day off with. Emily was dressed in costume. You missed a real treat. She and Dr. Clay were doing Title IX for us, and you know, you think that's something kind of boring, but they really brought it to life. It was great. And then the Visible Learning team from Academic Services and principals and all, they brought training to all of our staff members, and that was really well done and well received. So it was a great day today. And next week, we have the opportunity to go as a team to the Virginia School Board Association. But the great thing about this year is 2 of our students are going to go with us. And this will be the first time we're going to take the young people with us. I'm excited that they're going to be a part of it. I just would like to say that, you know, the past month has really been, I think we've been really extra focused on having a culture of care and a culture of enhanced safety. And I'd like to thank everybody in this room for being very diligent in those efforts, and we're better for it. And we always want to take care of people first, right? And make sure everybody is safe at school. And so I thank you for that. And so I extend my gratitude in this month of gratitude. And I also want to say on behalf of the school system, everybody is extremely grateful for you all affording us that week off at Thanksgiving to be with our families, understanding that the care of every employee is important as well. So thank you so much. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
All those in favor, say aye.
Second.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.